Afternoon, guys. This video is not so clear. It's the phone, but this phone makes it easier to load on YouTube than the other phone, which is much clearer than it. So you'll bear with me if the video is not so clear. I would like to share a story of my traveling when I traveled to China and also empower people who travel on how to handle some of the challenges that we face when we travel. Challenges that can make us to be robbed. Ne? So this year I traveled to China. Those people who know me will know that I used to have a shop that was selling clothing, that was selling hair, the hair pieces, the African hair, the hair pieces. That shop was also having a massage and beauty spa. And on the other side, we were selling clothes. So I traveled to China, Guangzhou. Guangzhou is the town in China where foreigners go and buy clothes. We buy and sell. It's cheaper there. So I went to Guangzhou. So I booked a flight from South Africa. As usual, my transit, if you use Emirates, I fly Emirates most of the time. I find it cheaper, especially if you book in time. So I took Emirates from Johannesburg. I first applied for a visa, a China visa, which was easy to do. There are some countries where it's easy to apply for a visa. There are some countries where it is difficult. There are some countries where you just fill in a visa just before entry. There are some countries where you don't even have to go to the embassy. You'll fill in information, email it back to them, and there you are granted a visa. So countries like Turkey, they don't have those issues about the visa. I guess even Egypt, I didn't have problems when I stayed in Egypt of the visa. So also with China, I guess I waited for a few days before I got my China visa. I picked it in Sandton. Yeah, I think I picked it from Sandton in Johannesburg, and I was granted a visa, and they granted me a longer visa. Then I started my traveling to China because the purpose was to build the business so that it helps me, because I was going to be unemployed for the following year because I was going to school to study my master's degree, and I was doing it for personal reasons. I needed a break for personal reasons, so I went to study to do my master's in social work in Scotland. So that same year, it's the same year that I also went to China. So my transit was in Dubai, and from Dubai I traveled to China. From China airport, I took a meter taxi to Guangzhou, the town I was going to. Then I was booked for a hotel there for 5 days. So I was gonna start my shopping. The most issue for me that was a problem was the language. Oh, first of all, my phone wasn't working when I was there. I needed to buy a new SIM card that is from China, which was very difficult even to do because of the language barriers. Chinese cannot speak English. I think I walked something like 45 minutes to find only one person who could speak English. And I approached him. I think it was a student who was studying in China. Then he tried to help me. Then I also asked for directions to Guangzhou. Then I went to Guangzhou, walked to Guangzhou because it was not too far. And anyway, I didn't want to take a meter taxi because, again, language was going to be a barrier, even though in the end I ended up taking a meter taxi. So I did my shopping. I bought clothes. I saw shops. China was very hot. I slipped and I fell and I hit my wrist, which is fine. My experience in the hotel was that because the sheets were white, they wanted me to wash them or pay for them because the makeup was in the sheets. I was not used to that because in South Africa, I stayed in many hotels as part of my work, and if you mess sheets through makeup, they just wash them. But in China, They asked me to wash them or pay for them. I had to go and look for a stain remover and wash their sheets and make it a point that whenever I go to bed, I remove makeup so that it doesn't go to the sheets. That is not the interest of the story. I will share the business side of it, but I will summarize it here because the purpose is to warn you when you go to the airport. Of course, because I was going for business purposes, I had many luggages, so my luggage was going to exceed, of which usually the luggage for travelers, we as travelers, is 20 kilograms times to always weigh it, go to game, buy that little thing like a watch. I have it. It's just that I'm lazy to stand up and show you this thing. Ask at game the luggage measure. That thing to measure luggage, lando yokumeasurisha luggage. Always ask them at game so that you don't get the embarrassed that I always get in airports of always taking out clothes. So let's continue with the story. So I had couriered the luggage and paid for courier. But because I didn't measure it at the airport, I had to face a challenge of a luggage that exceeded and I had to pay more money in Chinese. While I was struggling with that, it wouldn't have been a problem if I had a lot of Chinese money in my hand, but I didn't have a lot of Chinese money in my hand because I was going back to South Africa. So I needed to pay with my card. My card was not working. Oh, those people didn't want a card. They wanted the Chinese money, like in terms of the coins. And I didn't have it. So I was walking in the airport frustrated because I need to board a plane and my luggage is exceeding and I have a problem. For me, that ended up being sorted, but the most issue that we need to take care of when we travel is these people. I don't even know why they are in the airport in China. I don't know if they are students or they are there to rob people or they are there to victimize people since they know that we all go to China to stock clothing. There were these people, their accent was Nigerian. With these African countries, our accents are different. We have different accent. I'm a South African. My accent differs from a Zimbabwean. My accent differs from a Ugandan. My accent differs from Kenyan, and all the others, but there's also the accent that is similar to Nigerian because I even asked them, but the accent was the Nigerian. Those guys were following me around. They were asking me to give them my luggage. They will let it cross without me paying. When you are under pressure, you might do that, and that's when you will lose your goods, your belongings, because they know that you have come to stock. So those clothes I knew they will benefit when they steal from you. Those guys did that to me. I'm under pressure. I might miss the flight up until I got angry and I told that guy, hey, leave me alone. Stop it right there and leave me alone. I need to work out how I'm going to do this. Think about it. Guys, you have to think about this. Easy come, easy go. When a person is saying in the shops, they will take your clothes, don't pay for them, you can pay them outside. They are stealing from you. They have a way of saying, give me your bag, where they will take your phone and take everything. When the scammers or on these dating sites and on these Facebook and everywhere, they say, I'm sending you a parcel. They will pretend to be white. They are our African brothers. Okay, there are some white people, a few ones who rob because I've got a friend who was robbed by a white person in South Africa. But these scammers are not even white. They are our African brothers. Maybe they would say they are in Malaysia, something like that, or Nigeria. So easy come, easy go. Never pay for a parcel. Never send money when they say your parcel is held somewhere. They have bought you this and this and this and this, but it has to be held somewhere. So even these guys, they were trying to tell me that I'm not going to pay the airport. They will make my clothes cross. How? Tell me, how are they gonna do that? Except for stealing from me. What I did in the end, because I'm a gutsy girl, I went to the guys that wrap clothes. I asked them to wrap my clothes so that the luggage is smaller. Then I said, I'll come back to China and I will pay them. Unfortunately, I haven't been to China to pay them, but it was not a big money. It exceeded with a small amount, or to wrap them. I ended up paying with a card at the customs so that I crossed to South Africa. Guys, when you travel, be careful of those guys, especially when you travel to China, because they will confuse you while they are stealing from you. Remember, guys, easy come, easy go. We like easiest things because we don't want to pay, because we don't have enough money. But when it seems too good to be true, don't pay for it. Remember, easy come, easy goes. Be easy go. Ne? I thought I should warn you about this because it's one of my traveling experiences that sort of shocked me. But because I told you in one of my videos, I was once scammed 5,000 Rand by a Nigerian. So, guys, be careful. I've mingled with Nigerians. There are some Nigerians who are nice, who are my friends, but there are those who are building a reputation of being thieves, of stealing, and of being women abusers. That is the truth. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Take care of yourself. Always look on the bright side of life. Bye.